Alola, Metagross Freak here, and today I'm taking a look at my top 10 ugliest Pokemon list. Now I realize that I haven't really done a top 10 list in a while, and my apologies, I just didn't have any, I guess I just didn't have any inspiration until now. But for this list, I'll be taking a look at all 7 generations, picking which 10 Pokemon with two honorable mentions I find are the least attractive or most ugly. Um, I guess to qualify Pokemon, the Pokemon isn't supposed to be ugly. For example, Garbodor and like Pokemon like Muck, since they are supposed to be garbage, they're supposed to look gross. As a result, these Pokemon are not necessarily ugly by design, or they weren't intended to be ugly. It's just my opinion of which Pokemon look the least attractive. Um, so without further ado, here we go with the top 10 ugliest Pokemon, starting now. So I'm going to reveal my runners-up right before I reveal number 1. So starting off with number 10, it's Machamp. Machamp was basically the OG fighting type, but I'm not a big fan of it. I mean, Machamp and Machoke were both kind of humanoid lizards, but Machamp takes it in a different direction by kind of looking like he has the head of a Muppet, and then for some reason growing an extra 2 pair of arms. It made a little bit of sense with Geodude to Graveler to Golem because he was just gaining more rocky mass, so maybe it needed extra arms to hold it all together, and then all that rocky mass solidified into a shell. With Machamp, he just grows 2 more arms out of the blue. Not only that, but he's got a ton of muscle, and I've never been a big fan of the muscly look. Next up at number 9 is Hoopa Unbound. Hoopa Unbound suffers a similar fate to Machamp, being that it has just way too many arms for no real reason. Hoopa in its bound form was actually kind of cute and only has 2 arms, but for some reason they decided Hoopa Unbound should have 6 arms, a giant goatee, and just a gaping portal hole in its chest. I realize it's supposed to look really cool, and I have a number of friends that are a big fan of it, but I just can't just can't get my head around it. I'm just not a fan. Sorry. Gen 5 tried to be original and make rip-offs of Gen 1 and 2 Pokemon, and so for number 8 we're looking at Seismitoad, who's basically the Poliwhirl of Gen 5. It has something similar to Magmar, which just has these kind of boob foreheads, and Magmar at least has a joke going on where its name in Japanese is Boober. Seismitoad just it doesn't look as good and it's not as funny. Plus it just has the blue and black boils all over its body. Compared to other frog Pokemon, like Politoed and Greninja, it just doesn't look as good. It's just the ugliest frog. Number 7 is Aromatisse. I love fairy Pokemon. Fairy and Steel are my favorite types. But of all the fairy types, Aromatisse is the worst. The combination of the weird, like, flamenco dress and, like, the whole fact that it's, like, lifting its skirt up is just really trashy. Though I do like the whole inspiration of Aromatisse's line of having a Plague Doctor mask. But it just doesn't look good. The only reason it's here at number 7 is because there are some Pokemon that are a lot worse, and I have much better reasons for thinking they're uglier. Number 6 is Lickitung. I actually kind of like the design of Licky Licky. I think it looks kind of cute with its little tubbiness and its little swirl of ice cream hair, but Lickitung is just, oh, it's like a ugly pink lizard with a giant, almost kind of puffy tail for some reason. And the fact that its tongue almost reaches the ground and it has just this dead-eyed, gaping mouth expression, kind of like Golbat, but with a bigger tongue, kind of terrifies me a little bit. It's still number 6 because there are uglier Pokemon, but I would probably say of the Gen 1 Pokemon, it's probably one of the most bizarre entries. Number 5 is Tornadus Therian form. Now I know Tornadus, Thunderous, and Landorus in their incarnate forms get a lot of flack for being basically just palette swaps with different hairdos, but I really don't like the Therian form for Tornadus. It's supposed to be a bird, but it has a mustache. It has a weird like purple bra thing with cleavage, which is just bizarre. It has a weird red gem on its crotch, and it has weird like claws on its wings, which is normally something associated with dragons or bats. It just has a weird design, and the combination of green and purple on a bird doesn't look pretty either, but it's mostly the mustache with the weird like bird bra. I mean, Swanna has it too, but at least Swanna looks good. Number 4 is Crabominal. I can't even say its name right. Number 4 is Crabominable. You'd think with the name Crabominable it would be at least kind of abominable snowman like Obama Snow, but no. Crabominable takes a cool boxer crab and turns it into that abomination. It has weird ape-like features which don't make sense on a crab. Its arms look like it's broken, and it takes a cool like black eye boxer and turns it into kind of the equivalent of like I don't know that one guy from the Three Stooges with the bowl cut and like the dumb expression. It's such an ugly evolution, and I mean Crabrawler was so cool. That's why it's one of my top 4 for the ugliest Pokemon. With number 3, I'm looking at Rhyperior. Rhyhorn and Rhydon were really cool. They were like these rhino lizards who had armor plating, and Rhyperior replaced the armor plating with bricks? I don't know. It took away the cool spiky armor plates and gave it just weird, just brick armor. Plus, it has a diaper and like a weird like judge's like a judge's wig, and now for some reason its arms are cannons. I mean, it barely even looks like the Pokemon it was supposed to be. It has a club tail now. That doesn't make any sense. The only thing that even looks the same as Rhyhorn and Rhydon is the drill nose and the like grayish brown coloration. Just such a letdown considering how many good and cool looking designs there are in Gen 4. For number 2, Alolan Raticate. I wasn't a big fan of Raticate to begin with, but Alolan Raticate makes it even worse. It took kind of a fast rat and turned it into a fat rat. The giant puffy cheeks, the swollen stomach, it doesn't look good. I don't understand how something like this would survive in the wild. I mean, don't get me wrong, I do like the new color scheme. The gray and black is a huge upgrade from the orangish brown, but the fat cheeks and the fat belly, not a fan. For my runners-up, I'm looking at Samurott and Cricketune, both from Gen 5. Gen 5 had this weird, let's give things mustaches vibe, which we saw earlier in Tornadus Therian, as well as the other weather trios. Uh, Samurott and Cricketune both have mustaches for unknown reasons. I mean, Oshawott and Duat are adorable, and the whole shell blade thing is kind of neat. Samurott, for some reason, just looks like Papa Smurf. I mean, he's got the big pointy hat, he's got the blue skin, got the giant beard and mustache. The only real difference is Samurott has a sword, and 2 of them. Cricketune isn't as egregious, but it still took a really cute Pokemon in the form of Kricketot and turned it into a weird cricket violin, again with a mustache. Samurott and Cricketune are my runners-up, so you can think of them as 11 and 12, but I'm still not a big fan. What was with Gen 5 and mustaches? And number 1, in my opinion, the ugliest Pokemon, Seaking. Goldeen was kind of pretty, but Seaking is... ugh. He looks like the Phantom of the Opera had sex with a fish. I mean, I get that it's supposed to look regal, but it doesn't. The comb over, the buck teeth, the weird black spots on the fins that kind of look like food stains, and the fact that he's got like a beard bib of white skin. Just nothing about his design looks cool, except for the fact that it has a horn. Anyway, what do you think of my list? This was my opinion for the top 10 ugliest Pokemon. If you have something that you think is uglier, let me know in the comments below, and I'd love to hear what you have to say. Until next time, I'm Metagross Freak, and see you around.